How's it going, everyone? Sway here. I'm really excited about this video. I haven't been this excited about a video in a long time because stuff has been kind of stale lately. Not that I like review all the active products because I don't have that much money, but you know what I mean. Regardless, I'm super stoked. There's finally like an Artisan competitor that isn't a Hien clone, and that's not to knock on other people coming up with new pads. Because I know stuff is in the works. I'm really excited for all Lethal stuff, and there's a few other smaller brands that are going to start making pads, which I'm excited for. But this is the here and the now, and I have two unstitched pads, and I'm really excited because I'm not a control guy. I have not used a control pad in ages, or a mud pad, I guess, because I only really had like the glorious 3XL, and what else? Is the QCK even, is it a control pad? I don't know. I'm not really a control pad guy. I don't know, so I'm excited. These last few weeks were really fun, and I think I learned a lot about control pads and about my own preferences in general, not just in like the speed of the pad, but other things too that I'll talk about in a bit. Let's get this view in. All right. Now, if y'all don't know, Artisan just dropped the Artisan Zero Classic, which is like their budget option, unstitched. These are both unstitched pads, but I think I should reiterate this is a new Zero. And their classic line is getting completely reworked, so it's nothing to scoff at anymore. I think in the past, like if someone accidentally bought classic, they would just like instantly like sell it to get like the actual Artisan experience with the stitched edges and whatnot. But now they're redoing the whole line. The Zero is currently the only classic pad, and this is the first time I've ever had a Zero of any kind. So this is a whole new experience for me. I don't have the old Zero to cloud my mind with biases. Not that that really matters, but like I'm coming into this xten and Zero comparison battle completely fresh because I've never tried the normal Zero. So yeah, I'm just gonna compare them more in truth before throwing my opinion out. So first off, the xten control was $99 before shipping and $112 after with Lethal. $112 USD. That's kind of crazy. Lethal gaming gear, thanks for stocking them, but still, that is so expensive. So expensive for something that's smaller. But yeah, we'll get to that. I did say, yeah, $99 before shipping, $112 after. The Zero was $38 before shipping, $63 after. This is the classic. It's their budget model. I can't imagine it was made for anything else other than, well, I'm not going to, like, try and create beef where there is none potentially, but like if this was developed after the xten was, like I can't imagine it being anything else other than like a fuck you, our unstitched pad is better. But again, I don't really know the intricacies of that. I can't really speak to their companies or their business models or what Artisan was thinking when they dropped this, but man oh man, it is much less expensive than the xten control, and it is a bit bigger, and it's also unstitched. So let's get that out of the way. Arm feel, the xten is a bit rougher, but not in like a rough way, in like a fuzzy way. They both have like a really similar, unique feel, and everyone always, I don't have a real Zero to compare against. Everyone always said the Zero was super, super rough, but honestly, I don't know if it's just my arm is weird. Maybe it's like the arm hairs I have. Not like I'm too hairy, but like everyone said the Zero was super rough, but it feels a lot nicer on my arm than, say, a Hien or the mousepad company by far. It feels like pretty smooth. It's like the way I explain it, it's like a peach fuzzy type of rough, you know? So I don't know. I'd like to think that the surface is the same as the actual Zero, but I can't speak to that. It's smoother than I expected it to be. Everyone talks about how the Zero is rough and like some people's arms can't handle it. But I'm like, I like this. The xten feels like how I thought the Zero was going to feel because I used the xten first. It got here first from Lethal. And it feels like what I thought the Zero was going to feel like. It's like peach fuzzy rough. And the Zero still has like that feeling, but just like toned down a bit. So I was really interested to see that the Zero was a lot smoother on my arms than people had made it out to be. So that I was pleasantly surprised about that. The Zero speed, I legit, before I started the video, I had to like, I literally sat like my face right here, like moving the mouse to try and see like what was faster or slower, because they're pretty similar. And I think, so xten is up here, of course. You can see the logo, xten. And Artisan, this is a different logo than on, what is it, the Ninja models? That's what it's fucking, I have so many. Yeah, whatever. I'm not even going to check. It's Ninja, right? Yeah. But the logo's a bit different. I kind of fuck with it more. It's like long. It's nice. And X10's logo is right here in the corner. I should say the xten control feels a lot stiffer. I get Xsoft Artisans, so it just feels like I don't know, it feels like it's not a mouse pad. The xten control feels like when you're moving it like this, it feels, you're like, oh yeah, that's a mouse pad. But when I like close my eyes and do this, I'm like, this is just like squishy fabric. It's really weird, but yeah, I'm getting off track. I think the xten control is a tiny bit slower, so I'm not really putting force into that. I think the Zero is just like the tiniest bit faster. But they're like really comparable. In game, I couldn't really feel the speed difference. So yeah, there you go. I did the test so y'all can like slow the video down yourselves to see. I'm trying my best to use like the same force on each swipe. I think it's just the X10 is like a tiny bit slower. That's how I feel. I don't have like the little push machine that tells you the newtons of force or whatever, but yeah, that's how I feel. Doesn't really matter because they play pretty identical in game, but unless you like have a Zero and you want something slower, this might be the answer. But again, just watch the video. It's never this hard for me to tell what's faster or slower, but this one has baffled me. But I'm like, yeah, the X10 kind of like pumps the brakes in at the end. You know what I mean? I think this is slower. Yeah, both unstitched, and I haven't used an unstitched pad since the GSRSE like a year and a half ago because I gave that to a friend. They're not as sharp as I thought they would be, but the Artisan unstitched edge honestly feels like a tiny bit smoother. Yeah, I'm like pretty sure. And my new thing, I really like playing with the pad like at the very edge of the desk. I like the sensory experience of feeling the whole pad as I play now. That's my new thing. That's why I want more people to do 500 by 500. I just think introducing the desk between like I don't know, even that elevation change, I feel like it changes the experience of a pad completely. And I like that uniformity, and I like it even more now as a reviewer because I will know that if someone has the pad at the edge of their desk like I do, we will be feeling the same thing. Whereas desks vary so much, especially if someone's using like a desk and isn't using or is using like a type of desk that like makes you sweat a bit more. I don't know. And it could like affect the pad. There's like so many variables when you bring desks into it and when you bring sleeves into it, which sleeves both don't feel good on these pads, by the way. But yeah, so that is like how I'm going to be doing things from now on. Okay, if a pad is too small for me to even have it at the bottom of my desk, I'm not going to review it. The X10 was almost too small. Okay, let's move all the shit I have right now. It's like just the tiniest bit smaller. It's also kind of because all right. So the X10's like more of a square. Artisan, you know how it has like the little like zoom. So that yeah, you can see right there that it's a little different, but yeah. Here is where the X10 ends. I know it's hard to tell because they're both black. Artisan just has a bit of room on it vertically and horizontally. More horizontally than vertically. It has like one finger on it vertically. Yeah. Yeah, like one index finger and then basically two fingers horizontally. You can go look up the measurements if you want. I already started the video. I'm a bit lazy for that. Yeah, so that's that. I just noticed something that bothered me. That there's a little hole there. Yeah. Size is a little different. I'm gonna move this up again so I can keep like comparing them. The Artisan is just the tiniest bit bigger. What else? Temperature, humidity, fine on both. They both are consistent as you'd expect of really expensive mouse pads. Obviously, the xten control, if it was not good under temperature and humidity or under different ones, like I would be baffled. I mean, it's on their website. I'm pretty sure I read the translation that was one of their things. It performs the same under regardless of the temperature and humidity because Japan has a lot of different climates, microclimates too. When you travel all over, and I've been twice, so I definitely understand why they would need that consistency. Like when you're somewhere, I'm pretty lucky. Like in San Diego, it's kind of always dry, So I said it in my last video, but I never could really. I had to take people's words on whether pads perform the same under different humidities, because it's just always dry here. But now I have a little humidifier thing that I can place on my desk, and yeah, these pads are both perfect. They both eat hair a good amount, but honestly, not much more than the Hien did. I was surprised. Everyone talks about the Zero being like a hair destroyer, like it just sucks in all the micro hairs, and I don't know, just as bad as the Hien. The xten does it as well. It's kind of annoying because I have 3 cats, but maybe it's just like the type of cats that I have. Like, I don't know, like actual cat hairs, they just all come off. It's just like the tiny micro hairs and stuff that stick mainly around like where I use the mouse the most. I guess my theory is that they like sometimes will accumulate on the mouse skates, and then from the mouse skates transfer to the pad. I don't know. I'm getting into pseudoscience now. Nah, all right. I'm going to pretend the pads are the same price for the next few minutes, so I can, like, if money wasn't a factor, what would I be using is kind of what I'm going to say, and then I'll do my final conclusion with money involved. Yeah, I like the Zero Classic more. I like it more. Like I said, I have my new thing where I like to keep the pad on the very edge of the desk and, like, truly have the full sensory experience. And, with the xten control, the size wasn't an issue in Valorant or Counter-Strike, which is like what I'm kind of messing with right now, just because I was like, oh, control pads, might as well play some CS, some Valorant, like try and click some heads. And it wasn't really an issue there. And I know, like I said, it's only like a finger of a difference vertically that the Artisan is bigger, but like I could not use the xten control for my other games. Like when I was playing Quake or Titanfall, even though servers are still being DDoSed. The xten control just felt a bit too small. I was hitting the top of, I was going off the top of the pad a bit. And I know that's just because of like the sends and stuff that I play at, but for how I want it to be, when you're buying a pad, I don't feel like you should have to change all your shit just to be able to play on it comfortably. So that's what I'm doing. I'm keeping the same stuff. And the size of the Artisan, I like being able to use one pad for multiple games. I end up switching pads a lot all the time anyways, because I'm reviewing stuff and testing stuff out. But if I was like just a consumer, like a gamer, not that wasn't a reviewer, I would really want one pad that works for multiple games. And I think the Zero is just a bit more versatile, because I do think that size is a better option. And if you don't want that size, you buy the large or the medium Artisan. Whereas with the xten, you only have small or medium. This is their medium size. But I mean, that bodes well for the future. If they came out with the large and it was 500 by 500, but then it would be like 150 fucking bucks or something, because this pad is so expensive. But again, we're not going to talk about money for now. Yeah. Honestly, they play like identically. They play so similar. I don't sense a performance difference in my own play when using one or the other. They just, I don't know. I just log on ahead. I'm like control pad pilled now. Like I just have been using probably the Raiden and the Hayate Ko are the pads I've logged the most hours in lifetime. And like just with the Raiden, like it just feels so nice and buttery and smooth, but there is a bit of like, unless you're like really amazing, you probably had the same experience as I have on the Raiden, where like every now and then you're just like, you feel like yourself like shaking a little bit, and you have to be like, ooh, come on, like let's be smooth again, because it's like the Raiden's an intense pad to use for long sessions, especially when you're trying to be really precise. You need to have really good mouse control. You need to be really disciplined. I feel like you can't let to adrenaline get you, or like jitters. Like you have to like be on track, or you will be a little shaky. Because like the smallest of shakes, like you can see that on your crosshair, and I feel like that stuff compounds. Whereas like you're playing on the xten controller, the Zero, and you're just like locked in. It honestly feels easy mode for clicking. Like I know people that have used control pads forever, like this isn't going to be much of a revelation to them, but for me it was, because I don't really use control pads. It's just like, it just feels easy. In the same way that I praise the Hayate Ko for feeling, and the Hayate Otsu for feeling really easy for vertical movements, how it just like locks you in. That's like everything about these pads. Like it just feels so easy to stop on a dime and click ahead. And I like that. And I think I'm starting to like that more now. I might be keeping the Zero on my desk for a long time. I'm going to see how it plays out. I don't have a main anymore with anything. Such as the life of a reviewer, I guess. These are my 3 favorite mice right now. And my favorite pads right now are the Zero Classic and the Hayate. So I think that those are going to stay on my desk. So yeah, even if these were the same price, I would go for the Zero Classic. I still have yet to try a normal Zero, and I don't think I want to. I'm kind of like really digging the unstitched experience. It feels really nice on the arm. Again, I'm like a sensory dude. Like I've always talked about how I really care about arm feel, but now I'm like taking it a bit further because I really want to just like experience a pad in its totality. Was that even the right use of the word? I don't know. I just hate touching my desk now. I hate placing an Artisan on top of a desk pad, which was my solution before. I was using, like, for the longest time, the Odin Infinity was sitting under my Artisans, and that was fine because it's not affected by temperature, humidity, and it's not, the texture is bearable. But no. I don't want that. I don't like the elevation changes anymore. Like, if the xten was sitting, this is usually how high I would have like kept my pad before. Like, unstitched edges feel terrible for me if you have it like this. Like the xten control, this feels like fucking dog shit. It bothers my arm. Like, I've done this for like 10 seconds and it's already feeling kind of irritated. Like, just like that elevation change, like I cannot handle that. But when the unstitched edge is at the edge of the desk, if you have an unstitched edge that isn't sharp, like, and it's at the edge of the desk, I know some people do unstitched edge and they like ride the pad off like a few millimeters or centimeters off the desk, but like for me right here, it's just perfect. And I'm really enjoying it. It feels super clean, super nice. I like it. Not to say that like, because of Artisan, it really doesn't matter. Their stitched edges are so nice that like it feels the same. But you can like, there's a difference. There really is a difference when there's no stitching. And I'm not going to say one is better or the other, but they do give a different arm feel, a different sensory experience. And I think that should be noted. Okay, because maybe I'm sure there's some Zero users out there that might like the Zero Classic more than the normal Zero. It's worth a try, in my opinion, if you already have one and you're looking for another, because it's probably going to be in stock more too. And it's cheaper. Yeah. I think that's about it. Now, if we are factoring price, holy shit, the Zero blows this thing out of the water. It's bigger, and it just costs less. Like, what? Huh? How is this pad so expensive? I mean, it's a dope pad, but I really feel like at this point, with the price being factored in, like, for any non-Japanese consumer, like, if you're like tanking the shipping fee, or even buying from Lethal, who had to tank the shipping fee, I'm assuming, which is why I don't know. If you're not in Japan and you have to get this shipped to you, like, it is just so expensive. I don't know if it's worth it unless you're a deranged enthusiast, or like if you already love the Zero and you want to try something similar that you might like more. Maybe this is for you. If you are a deranged mousepad collector lover, buy it. It's dope. It's a good ass pad. It's just as good as the Zero Classic, but like, if you're really trying to make a decision, one or the other, it's got to be the Zero. No shot. It's just so much. Bang for your buck. Like, come on. I don't see any world in which anyone could say this is the better deal. Okay. I just don't see it. I'm personally going to keep the Zero on my desk for quite a while now, because the unstitched edge is really fucking bringing me in. I don't know what it is about it. I didn't feel this way when I was using the GSRC or the QCK. There's something about these two pads, unstitched edges, that just really do it for me, and I really like it. It feels really nice. I don't know if I talked about the squish, but yeah, I always get X-Soft for Artisan now. Squishy. You also, yeah, you have a choice of firmness with Artisan. You don't get that with the X10. It's not as soft as X-Soft. I actually only have a mid here, so I can't compare the X10 to Artisan Soft, but it feels like what I remember Artisan Soft feeling like. It definitely is softer than mid. And you can see, it gets a little squish when I do this. This gets more squish when I do it. It's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, I'm not going to steal Boardsy's lighter method, okay? It's patented. But yeah, they're both amazing. They're both like 10 out of 10 pads, honestly. They're both really good. But if you're factoring everything in, especially price, and this being a comparison video, I have to wholeheartedly claim the Zero as the unstitched control pad champion. It's really good. It's really fun. I like it a lot. I'm not going to call it my main because I don't think I have mains anymore. I'm going to be using this and the Hayatako probably. And I'm going to be using these 3 mice. Expect an M2K review soon, but before that, expect the Orochi review soon. I have a lot of mixed feelings on both of these mice. And this one too. No mouse is perfect for me right now is what I'll leak. But that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Come through to the stream if you like that. I'm live on Twitch most every day. Consider subscribing to the channel. I know I never used to do this, but I feel like I should now that I'm closing in on 1,000. And I really want brands to send me stuff because I don't have much money to buy a lot of stuff to review. And I feel like I'm okay with doing these type of, like, subscribe to me. Like, I'm okay with doing these type of things if it'll mean that I can make more videos for y'all because I don't upload enough and I want more stuff to be able to review. So, yeah, 85% of the people that watch aren't subbed. So, sub if you can. Helps a lot. And that is it from me. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy. Peace. Artisan stays on top. Call me an Artisan shill if you want. But if you try both these pads, I'm curious to hear if you came to the same conclusion I did, because I really don't see a universe in which the xten control is worth it more than the Zero Classic. I don't know why I'm talking like this now. Bye. It's getting awkward. Bye.